Yo, coming to you live from Philadelphia, DC, various other parts of this country. It is one of our special weeks because we just had playoffs, so y'all know how we do. Based on various sports events, we'll do a podcast a little bit earlier in the week to talk about the live sports events that just happened. So this is our championship weekend reactions podcast right now. I'm rocking out with Reno and Amina. Matt and Teroy will be here momentarily as well. But I'm rocking out with who I rock out with. So go ahead and reintroduce yourself, Reno.
What's up, guys? My name's Reno. I'm from DC/Jacksonville. And yeah, friend of Kylan's.
Amina's on you.
You all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Hi everyone.
Yep.
This is Amina. We're coming to you live from our various locations, and this is a podcast for the conference championship game reactions from yesterday, as well as we're going to be discussing the Super Bowl that's be happening on February 4th. So it's basically just a Super Bowl podcast. So let's get to it.
All right, cool, y'all. Well, y'all know. One of the things, unfortunately, we are people of various tastes in sports teams, and unfortunately, Reno is a Jacksonville Jaguars fan. And y'all know what happened to Jacksonville last night. We didn't watch the game. Unfortunately, Jacksonville had a lead and blew it, but they got to the game and everything. But Reno's going to react to that. He asked for this time. Reno is about to go off on his Jacksonville Jaguars. So go right on ahead, Reno. I've sold you enough.
I'll start off plain and simple. I have never seen a more disgraceful game in my life. Never. I have watched refs make awful calls in the past. Let no one say I've forgotten the idiotic, no catch, no idea what the catch rules are games against the Cowboys and the Lions. I remember the Fail Mary, the Steelers versus the Seahawks, and I think the 2005 Super Bowl, which was also atrociously refereed. But those were usually one play, bang, bang things to make an awful call, but it happens once. But never in my life have I seen an NFL game where the refereeing is so painfully biased and one-sided. Neutral players like Deshaun Watson and Bruce Irvin and a couple of others are literally commenting in the middle of the game about how unbelievable the calls were. Hardee's, the burger chain, got in on the action on Twitter. I have never seen refs glad-handing players like they did when the Patriots scored. I know some people on Twitter or whatever, like there was some fight or something that they mistook was happening. They were just like commenting about how funny it was. I don't care. I don't recall seeing Ed Hockley running over and hugging Nick Foles in the Philly game when they were beating up on the Vikings. Do you remember that? Does anybody remember that? I know I didn't see that. I've never seen the disgraceful and completely unprofessional actions of referees in a professional football game before. So let's go over some stats. I'm a stats guy. We all know the Patriots somehow managed to not commit a single penalty on offense or defense, and the Jags committed 10 times the amount of penalties, somehow. The Jags were the least penalized team defensively in the league. This is regardless of when you remember Jalen Ramsey getting tossed out of games against Bengals for no reason, a bunch of personal fouls. It doesn't matter. They were the least penalized team defensively in the league. They committed 33% of their total defensive penalties in 19 games in this one game. They committed 50% of their defensive pass interferences for all 19 games they played in one game. Horrendous decisions cost the Jaguars at least a 14-point swing, and an awful call ended the game. I don't want to go too much into specifics, but the worst part about this is that people are going to go, people have already gone on about this, say the Jags choked. Brady picked the big, bad Saxonville defense apart. Bouye and Ramsey couldn't back up their talk and that they were terrible, and this is factually false. refereeing killed the Jacksonville defense. It took them out of their game, and it was not fairly done. If refs want to call a tight game, fine. If you're like the Jags can't be playing bump and run and hand checking receivers down the field, fine. I know what the rules technically say. I know hand checking receivers technically not allowed, even if the offensive player is hand checking too. That's actually offensive pass interference, but it doesn't matter. If you want to call a tight game, fine. You can't call a tight game for one team and allow the other team to molest players on every single third down. You can't call a tight game for one team and ignore the other team literally putting Telvin Smith in a rear naked chokehold on the most pivotal 3rd and 9 of the game. This game was an absolute disgrace. It has ruined my love of the NFL. I am 23 years old. I've waited close to half my life to see the Jaguars in a meaningful game. And then to see them go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams ever, the best dynasty ever, and get screwed out of a victory because they were playing 15 versus 11 is awful. I'm not watching the Super Bowl this year. I don't care. I've spent too much of my life caring about a game that yesterday showed me is not played on a level playing field and where the little guy will get screwed over just to keep casual TV viewers happy. I know the NFL is thrilled because the conference championships got a huge number of viewers because people wanted to see the Patriots fail and they didn't. Nobody wants to see the Jacksonville Jaguars play. I'm aware of it. But this was a disgrace on every level. It broke my heart seeing Blake Bortles, a guy who gets dumped on by the media, other players like that idiot Jarrell Casey and Jadeveon Clowney after he dropped 40 on them, making fun of him for no reason. He had his heart broken. He's literally in tears on the sidelines after he gave it all in the field where he legitimately outplayed the best quarterback of all time. Watching Leonard Fournette require help getting to the locker room because he was bawling his eyes out on the field. This was an injustice, and it was disgusting. I was literally sick watching it yesterday. I was sick today. I'm not sure when I'm going to get over it. To make it worse, you have the worst fan base in football. The same idiots from Quincy, Massachusetts calling in every week to say Brady is over the hill. They should have dumped him for Garoppolo after week 2. You have them beating their chests, probably celebrating another ridiculous win. Third world country where the dictator is like, you better make sure my team wins or your family's getting set to the mines. It reminded me of the NBA where rigged games are par for the course. When Charles Barkley and the Suns shot 64 free throws in the 93 conference finals because the league wanted a Barkley v. Jordan matchup. Or the 2006 Mavs v. Heat game where I still remember the name Bennett Salvatore because he called the worst imaginable series. Or the 2002 Lakers versus Vikings versus Kings where Tim Donaghy literally said that the league rigged it. If the Eagles got screwed like the Jags did, I'm pretty sure Philly would have burned down and Clete Blakeman would be in witness protection. This was awful on every level.
Hold up. Woo! Oh, the heat. The heat from DC. We feel it all the way up here in Philly. The heat. And in Shreveport, Louisiana. The heat. My goodness. Listen, that's somebody whose team also got screwed by the Patriots. Spygate. We wanna send our condolences to the Jacksonville Jaguars, fans and everything else. We feel your pain. Nobody wanted to see Tom Brady win a sixth title. You know, nobody wants to see him be proclaimed the greatest.
That is not going to happen. No way. No how. Over my dead body. Plain and simple.
Listen. We all thought. Let's be real. We all thought that Brady was over the hill. It was over. His Jaguars took out Rob Gronkowski. It was over. And then the refs got involved. I'm not taking anything for granted when it comes to the Eagles. I'm really not. Because it would not be the first time we got screwed in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. I'm not saying that they will screw us. I'm just saying it wouldn't be the first time. We all know that infamous 2005 Super Bowl. We all know it. We don't need to rehash it. So,
Super Bowl 39.
So, Reno said his piece on Jacksonville. So guys, I know Reno's answer. Did Jacksonville lose it or did the Pats win it? Go ahead, Matt. You could also say your reaction to them losing too, but we'll get there. But go ahead.
Sorry, who's going right now? I've got more to say if you want, which is
go ahead, Reno. You go then. Then Matt.
I don't want to take.
I gotta hear this.
The worst part about the refs blatantly rigging a game is that it takes away from what the Patriots were able to do. Tom Brady was hitting some ridiculous passes. Bill Belichick outcoached Doug Marrone by far. The Jags took their foot off the gas. Is 100% true. But, part of the reason why the defense played so badly is because the game was not played on a level playing field, where in the first half, the Jags were able to. Brady got hit, I think, something like 9 times in the first half. They had 2 sacks in the first half, and they hit him something like 7 times, 9 times. Were hitting him constantly in the first half. And then the flags came raining down, and the team realized they couldn't do that anymore. You look back at that 3rd and 18 play where Brady drills Amendola for a 21-yard game, and look at what is going on the offensive line, where 3rd-string Marcus Cannon, their left tackle, has a fistful of jersey, and every single player on the defensive line is being held. And you're telling me they couldn't get any pressure on Brady? Well, of course they couldn't get pressure on Brady. They're being held the entire game. There's these idiots on Reddit talking about how Nate Solder trucked Dante Fowler Jr. on these plays. If you look at the play they're talking about, he literally punched him in the face mask, which is an illegal hands to the face call. None of this was getting called. And so you've got Brady with all the time in the world, and you have the refs making sure that the Jags can't play tight man coverage because they'll keep raining down flags. So they're giving them a ton of space and playing zone. We know if you play zone against Tom Brady and you give him all the time in the world because you're not getting any pressure, because every single person, Yannick Ngakoue, Calais Campbell, Malik Jackson, and Dante Fowler are being held like crazy, you're not getting any pressure on him. He's going to find an open guy. This was absurd. You can't play defense, and they couldn't. That's why they scored every single possession in the fourth quarter. Because you can't get pressure if your guy's getting held, and you're giving Brady all time in the world, and that simply wasn't happening to Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, our offense, I can't really say if the refs were going to swallow their flags like that, because Doug Marrone and Nate Hackett decided to run the patented, run the ball on 1st down, run the ball on 2nd down, pray to God Bortles can hit a crossing route on 3rd and 9, which he actually did a couple of times. I'm not saying our offensive game plan was good. It was not good. There are a ton of not called defensive pass interference penalties on the Patriots. If you look after the Myles Jack touchdown, they got called back for no reason. Another game-changing moment. That on that 3rd down after that play, it's 3rd and 7, I want to say, and Bortles is trying to hit Mercedes Lewis on a crossing route, and one of the linebackers gets beat by the 6'6" dude, and he just grabs the back of his jersey and refuses to let him get a ball. No call. This happened a couple of times. And so you can't play against that. You can't get into a rhythm. You can't really do anything. The Jags did not do themselves any favors. A lot of times their coaching was not good. But it's unfair when you have to go up against the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest coach of all time, and you already know you have to play a pretty damn perfect game. And the refs, as Max Kellerman said today, the refs make it impossible for you to do that.
I'm putting my 2 cents in there right now. Here you go. Watch this. I agree on the strength that the referees, ever since that, the referees had their hand on it a little bit. You can't help but the fact that, there were some bad calls, particularly the pass interference call in the first half where he was, 1, pushed out of bounds. He was out of bounds. 2, ball was not a catchable ball. Now, at first, in real time, I thought it was a pass interference call. I'll admit it. After looking at the tape, I'm like, that was just a flat-out defensive clean play. That was a clean defensive play. Now, say what you want about Tom Brady and the hatred for Tom Brady, how much we can't stand Tom Brady, how much Tom Brady got the girl with Giselle, with the looks. And Tom Brady's the type of guy you just want to punch in the face and give him the salute. Okay, I mean you know this, but unfortunately, You have to admit to this. Jacksonville played conservatively. Yes, we understand. And I think what Maroney should have did was when he got the ball with under a minute left to go, just go for it. Just go for it. I understand that you don't want the ball back to Brady. I get it, but you know what? This is a high stakes game, and tomorrow is not guaranteed. So you have to play to win. You cannot play conservative against the Patriots. You can't. You have to look that front four. I thought that they did a not bad job, albeit it's Tom motherfucking Brady. It's Tom Brady. Tom freaking Brady. So.
Amina, your thoughts?
My thoughts on the first question and the second one.
Yeah, I mean both. You can your thoughts on Reno's rant and your thoughts on if Jacksonville lost it or did the Pats win it. Go ahead.
I completely have sympathy towards Reno. I feel his passion. That's the first thing. And the second thing is in my opinion, I feel as though it was just the Jaguars lost it. It was rigged, and it was. They already got the pictures out there and the videotape coverage of the refs cheering on the Patriots when they scored and made touchdowns and all this jazz, and how they were on the sidelines depressed when the game was going in a good direction for the Jaguars. So it was obvious, like this is 2018, things are posted to the internet. But Jacksonville, they had the game up until almost literally the fourth quarter, damn near. And then the Patriots, they just do what they do, messing around with them and when it comes to the fourth quarter is usually a death sentence for anybody playing a game against them. It's ridiculous how the Jaguars got a championship stolen from them. It's truly sad. The Patriots had no effort in this game up until the last quarter, basically. And the Jaguars, they they went all out through this game, and it's like it not only was stolen from them, but at some point they lost the courage to keep going, keep fighting for what they wanted. I mean, they had it and they just slipped, and it's like you driving on the freeway and you got your foot on the pedal too hard and you just let go. It was that scenario, and it was sad watching. It was like I was really truly rooting for the Jaguars. This was supposed to be a great game for them, and for it to end, their season to end like it did, I find it truly disrespectful to them as a team because they didn't deserve this. They did not deserve this at all. This game was supposed to be for them. Just because the Patriots got
I'm sorry. I got to cut you off. I'm sorry to tell you. This game ain't promised to nobody. I don't care. I don't care if you're the Buffalo Bills. I don't care if you're Oakland. I don't care if you're the Oakland Raiders.
But at the end of the day, this game should have been in their favor.
Well, it wasn't. Remember, you got the Cheetahs coming in and doing their thing. They're not the Patriots. They're the New England Cheetahs. Okay, the Cheetahs.
We know. But at the end of the day, This game, major screw over all over the place, and I don't know how much money the Patriots are paying these refs, but it's got to be a very pretty golden coin because this happens a lot for them, where they're not even in the lead in games, just basically losing, and all of a sudden you notice in the fourth quarter they winning out of nowhere. My heart goes out to the Jaguars. I was rooting for y'all the whole playoffs. Wanted y'all to succeed, go far. Y'all did go far, but y'all didn't deserve this, Jaguar fans, at all. That's what I gotta say about that.
Can I just say, like, Reno's anger and passion, man. That's true fandom, man. That's true fandom, man. That's somebody from Philadelphia. We just as passionate. And he's right. He referenced that if that happened in Philadelphia, the city would burn down. They have to put these refs in a witness protection program. They have to do a lot of things. Like they had to do a lot of things. They lucky that we found out about the Spygate stuff after the Super Bowl. Because we had found out about it before or during the Super Bowl. That whole when did that Super Bowl take place, Matt? Was that New Orleans?
No, ironically, Jacksonville.
Well, Jacksonville burned down. If that happened, and we feel the pain, we know that we gonna have to. Everybody that deals with the Patriots, though, you're dealing with the Patriots and the league. Everybody know. Pittsburgh found that out.
Why do you think I called them the Machines? Why do you think I called this team the Machines?
Listen. This is why I said it depends on now. This story, it depends on what the league's gonna go with. They've already screwed the Eagles once. I don't know if they're willing to do it again. But I just want to say that on behalf of the city of Philadelphia, I feel like I can say it. I'm not trying to get sued, but on behalf of the city of Philadelphia, our condolences go out to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then I'll answer the question. But yeah, man, I mean, there were some calls. My dad and I were watching the game. By the time they scored, was it 17 or 24 points? I said the game was over because up until that point, New England wasn't moving the ball. Telvin Smith or whoever knocked the living stuffing out of Rob Gronkowski, who's proven to have a very, very good lower body, but not a real good upper part of his body. Because I believe last year he was out with a concussion, either a concussion, a neck injury, or something with his ribs. Somebody can remind me what it was that took him out last year. But whatever it was, I think it was either a concussion, a neck, or a rib. Something took him out last year. Might have been the same thing. Might take him out this year. But I fully believe that if it wasn't for the refs checking what Jacksonville does, because if you look at Jacksonville, they basically do what the Seahawks do with their secondary. They hold, they hand check, they do a lot of things. They do the Seattle style of defense. And to me, and this is just me, if you let Seattle get away with it, if you let any other defensive secondary get away with it, why are you calling that in the biggest game ever? Like, I agree with Reno. Why are you calling defensive pass interference when the ball was obviously not catchable? Why are you doing that? And then for Jacksonville, there was one play that I was a little bit mad at Jacksonville for. When Danny Amendola caught that ball, I don't know if that guy was having a moment, like when he was coming down and didn't realize, oh, snap, it's legal for me to push him out of balance. I don't know what was going on there. I don't know if he
out of balance though.
I don't know if he literally thought, oh, he's gonna land out of balance. It's not gonna matter. I don't know if he thought he had a Julio Jones situation.
Out of balance, or out of bounds.
Out of bounds. You know what I mean? I don't know. Listen. I was thinking, but he should have pushed him out of bounds. Listen, this is a bull that's as tall as me. Amendola is 5'8", 5'9". He's as tall as most of us here on this podcast. How do you not push that man out of bounds? How? That's the one play I'm mad. That's the one thing I'm mad at Jacksonville for. That one thing right there. The other thing I'm mad at them for, as Reno pointed out, is I don't know what Doug Moreau was thinking. Maybe he had a Kirby Smart moment. But this is what you cannot do against good coaches and good quarterbacks. You cannot be conservative. Are you saying something, Reno?
Nah. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I was trying to look at statistics. I was trying to find the video, and like there was an autoplay thing. But if I remember the play correctly, I don't think the Jaguars defender was close enough to push him out. The camera angle might have looked like he was closer there, but I think we've had to like lay out and jump about 5 feet to get there. I don't think he would have gotten there.
Okay. All right. Then that's my mistake. But the one thing, he had a Kirby Smart moment. From now on, I'm calling it the Kirby Smart because this is what Kirby Smart did against Nick Saban. You don't play an offensive and defensive genius like Bill Belichick and say, you know what? I think right now I'm just going to hand the ball off to my obviously injured but still toughing it out running back who's in his first year, right? I don't do that. I don't let the New England Patriots load the box. So that's the one thing you can't do against New England. Your play calling cannot be predictable. Like, okay, listen, as Reno pointed out, that man played the game of his life, Blake Bortles. He was making throws that I thought, believe in the media's hype, because I'm not in the Jacksonville market, so I don't watch Jaguars games. I never believed what most of the sports media sells. I didn't believe that man was as bummy as they were saying. But he didn't look like a bum yesterday. He looked like somebody that wanted to win, that was playing the game of his life to get to his first Super Bowl, get Jacksonville their first serious chance at something since 1999. I don't know if y'all remember them old school Jaguars. Not the Chad Henne Jaguars.
I'm trying to tell you, actually, it was 1997, their second year of existence, where they did face the Patriots to go to Super Bowl 30 and lost to Bill Parcells, and Tom Coughlin was the coach.
Okay, but listen, 1997, the Fred Taylor, or maybe Fred Taylor wasn't there yet, but the Fred Taylor Jacksonville Jaguars. Who was the quarterback? God dang it.
Mark Brunell.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I was about to say I used to love their quarterback. I love Mark Brunell. There you go. Mark Brunell and Fred Taylor, back when nobody knew anything about the Jaguars besides the fact that they had Fred Taylor and Mark Brunell on their team. Right? Them Jaguars. This was the first, I believe, Reno can correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Fred Taylor an honorary captain for yesterday's game? I believe so. But listen, that game was right there for the Jaguars. All the Jaguars had to do was score one more touchdown. I just said that to my dad before I went and took a shower during halftime. I was all like, listen, Dad, all they got to do is score one more touchdown. This game's over. They took out Gronkowski. By the way, that play that what's-his-name made on Deion Lewis to make him fumble, I hope the Eagles players were taking notes because that was pure athleticism. I couldn't believe that man ripped that ball out that athletically. And he shouldn't have been blown dead. He should have been able to go score a touchdown because as the Eagles found out, your defense, when you got a really, really good defense, let them score for you, especially when you can get a turnover, man. I'm telling you, we're going to get there. But Patrick Robinson turned that game around yesterday. I know this is about the Eagles. It's about the Jaguars. But I'm just making a comparison. That could have changed the game. It would have been 27-10 instead of 24-10. Y'all know what I mean? 28-10, 20, whatever it was. That would have been great. There's no way. No way. I know I said this last year when they were down by 21 or 25, whatever it was, to the Falcons. But there was no way they were going to come back against Jacksonville's defense, against Saxonville. But the only reason that didn't happen was because of them refs. And listen, did the refs engineer the comeback? Did Tom Brady not make throws? As Reno said, he made throws. He played a great game. Jacksonville got predictable. Jacksonville made mistakes. Nobody's taking that away. Doug Moreau outsmarted himself. We all said that. We all agree to that. But the 12th man, the referees, severely affected that game.
Why
That's-
do you
and that's
think
all there
I
is to it.
called them the New England Cheetahs? Why do you think I gave them that name? Come on now. Oh.
I think your dog agrees. Listen. So there's nothing else to do there. You know, we've done that topic to death. So moving right along. So guys, we just gonna hit this one real quick. This is the fourth time that the Patriots have overcome a 10-point deficit in the postseason. Is the New England dynasty coming to an end, or do they just like being down by 10 points? I'll start. I do think the New England dynasty is coming to an end. You know, I feel like, and this was my ultimate reasoning and my ultimate confirmation for that. I don't know if anybody was paying attention, right? But when Bill Belichick won that game, he did something that I've never seen Bill Belichick do. He smiled. He had that sense of relief on his face. Like, he knew he wasn't supposed to win that game. And if it wasn't for the league, as Reno pointed out, they wouldn't have won that game. Right? But he won that game. And that just confirmed to me that all these rumors, Seth Wickersham, shouts out to you for the great reporting. All these rumors are true. Like, if y'all watched him, I know most people would turn the game off, but you know, journalists gotta watch this stuff, gotta look for the cues. And I'm just an observational person. Anyway, all these people in here know me, they know I'm an observational person. I like to watch for the cues. Bill Belichick did not look like he wanted to be on that stage with Robert Kraft. He didn't look like he wanted to be in the same area code as Robert Kraft. Right? I ain't never seen a frostier look between coach, quarterback, and owner. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but that's what I observed, right? Yeah, I think the New England dynasty is over. I think that if the Eagles, and I know everybody's an Eagles fan for the next 2 weeks. Fly, Eagles, fly. Welcome to the nation. But listen.
Temporarily.
Listen. I even see some Cowboys fans, and Matt know who I'm talking about because I know he saw the Instagram video probably. They even had a singer in our church who's a Cowboys fan wearing eagle green. Woo! And you know who's that?
No.
Listen. Like I have to say that I feel like the dynasty is coming to an end. Like, I know they survived Charlie Rice and Romeo Crennel leaving, but Josh McDaniels, Matt Patricia, I'm not even going to talk about his last name, Matt Patricia are leaving. I feel like this is the end of the New England dynasty. I feel like that come next year, it'll just be Brady and Kraft and the new coach come next year. I feel like this is it.
I'm going to stop you right there because I love you, but that's so wrong. Patriots dynasty is going to continue. I don't know how long, maybe 5 years. As long as Brady keeps winning it, the Patriots dynasty is going to continue. I don't care about the coordinators leaving. We all know Belichick coordinators don't do anything. You cannot sit here and tell me that Matt Patricia and Josh McDaniels, who's already failed, are any better than the litany Patriots coordinators who've gone. Everybody's hired them thinking they're going to bring the Patriots way to our team. We're going to have all this stuff, and they've all been terrible because they aren't even coordinators. Belichick does everything. Belichick runs the team. Belichick gets the players. Belichick knows literally everything about everything there is to know about sports. The man could probably give a dissertation on special teams play for every single team in the league. I don't care. No one cares about the coordinators leaving. They could hire me as their offense coordinator tomorrow, and that team would still win 12 games. Okay? Stupid. He would just tell Tom Brady to ignore anything I was saying and call his own plays. It doesn't matter. As long as Tom Brady has a functional right shoulder, the Patriots will win games. The dynasty is alive and well. I know I'm about to get some hate now. I have to be straight up honest with you guys. I don't really like the Eagles. I'm more of a Redskins fan if I'm going to like any team in the NFC East.
Oh, no. You're going to get flamed.
I do appreciate the love.
Matt hates
What did you just say?
Like Eagles. And I think they're about to get absolutely wrecked in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to watch it because I'm boycotting the NFL. But I think they're about to get rocked.
Huh?
You've got Tom Brady. You've got the refs. You've got Belichick. You have to play an unbelievable game to beat them. I don't think Nick Foles has it in him. I don't know what the Vikings were doing, but
Lies and alibis. Lies and alibis. I gotta stop you there. Let me tell you something about this football team that is the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me stop right there. First things first, if you paid attention to that football game against the Vikings and that Eagles defense, how it dismantled. I don't know if that's even the word you'll look for. Dismantled, disintegrated, destroyed, pummeled. That is the Minnesota Vikings. And you're gonna tell me that the Philadelphia Eagles will not do a number on the New England Patriots? You have lost every nerve of your body. I don't know what ganja you're smoking. I don't know what you're drinking. I don't know parts of it. But look, I do agree with you on one thing, the fact that dynasty will continue because of said Bill Belichick, okay? But however, looking at a very short-term type of thing here, at 40 years old, Tom Brady, I admit, is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. One of, not the greatest, but one of, because you're talking about Joe Unitas, Joe Montana, and the like. So, with that being said, I have to say no. If you paid attention to Nick Foles in 2013, when with 27 touchdowns and 2 picks under Chip Kelly, that was Chip Kelly, mind you. And, oh, by the way, that was Andy Reid's pick out of the 3rd round from the same school that Drew Brees went to. Okay, and that's one of the best quarterback schools in high schools in the country. So, and don't forget, Nick Foles is 6'6", and he does have a cannon. And it took him at this point to get that rhythm to where he needs to go. And oh, by the way, if you've not paid attention to that game, he threw over 340 some odd yards with, was it 3 touchdowns? So, I look, coming into this game, I believe that this team is going to be fine. I did say in this podcast that they're going to the Super Bowl and we're in it. Now, I'll go even bolder one step further and say this Philadelphia Eagle team will win their first Super Bowl. Period. There, I said it.
All right. I'm going to stop you there because I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I did not watch the Minnesota Eagles game because I was furious last night and legitimately took a walk and had to compose myself. And after that, I was busy shooting people on Battlefield 1 because I was furious. So I did yesterday. I'm sure he had a great game.
He was furious. I was talking to him.
From what I hear, the Vikings played terribly. It's what I expect out of the Vikings. I knew the second that they won that game that they were going to crush their fan base's hopes and dreams because that's what the Vikings do. They're like the Bills. They're like the Browns. They're not going to win anything. The team's I knew they weren't going to win. I was right. They didn't win. Apparently, they played terribly. So if Nick Foles threw 5 touchdown passes against them, it doesn't really matter because I could have probably thrown 5 touchdown passes.
I guess, but in a sense, it does matter because that was the number 1 ranked defense in all of football. The number 1 ranked defense in football, and the way that Doug Peterson prepared that team, I mean, not just offensively, but on every asset and every facet of the game. Literally, this is one of the most well-balanced teams in football. And you notice with all those injuries, no Jason Peters, no Darren Sproles, no Caleb Sturgis, no Carson Wentz, the list goes on and on and on. And yet this team keeps on ticking. So I don't want to, unless you can prove to me or tell me otherwise that this differently, both as a homer and non-biasly, this Super Bowl 52 is going to be a juggernaut.
So, I can't really say anything about the team, honestly. I don't watch the Eagles very much. Nick Foles might be great. I know the D-line goes 8 deep, and they're extremely good. But telling you,
it's a rotation.
In the Super Bowl, with the refs, with fate.
Look, I know the Eagles. I know the Eagles want to play against 12 guys.
The Vikings are chokers. Like, you can't trust them. It's like saying, I'm going to go put all my money on, I don't know, which team falls apart all the time. It's like saying, Yu Darvish in this World Series, the man is going to fail, and he did fail. There are some people that you can look at them and you know this guy is going to fail. He can't do it. He doesn't have it. The Vikings are one of those teams. They don't have it. I knew the second the Minneapolis Miracle happened or whatever, I knew this team would get too high on themselves. It'd be like, wow, we're a team of destiny. They completely forget how to play defense. No, I was right. Case Keenum turned into the Case Keenum I knew when Blaine Gabbert was outplaying him when he played for the 49ers. They beat the Rams 28-0 in the worst game I've ever seen in my life.
But think of that was Jeff Fisher, though. That's the Jeff Fisher Rams.
Bad players, bad players. Case Keenum, under pressure. I knew he was going to crack. What'd he do? He cracked like an egg. That's why you don't give Case Keenum. That's why the Vikings never committed to him, because they knew he was a choker. I knew their defense was not going to get it done. The Vikings, they can't get things done under pressure. They never have, and they never will.
But I'll throw this monkey wrench at you. Okay, say you're the Minnesota Vikings, and your number one quarterback is still out, Teddy Bridgewater, and you got Sam Bradford, who you got from the Eagles, and he gets hurt, and now your next guy up is Case Keenum. Okay, so you already have a quarterback situation problem already due to injury. I mean, no one really. I didn't expect the Minnesota Vikings to be this. I expect to be good, but not this good. You know, because of their defense. So no one expected Case Keenum to perform the way he was putting over top of his head, and it came crashing and a burning in South Philly. It is what it is. I mean, it was an injury situation. Case Keenum did his job. Unfortunately, he got his foot up his ass, but that's another story. He did what his job was. He was a backup quarterback. Everybody knows he's a backup quarterback versus Nick Foles, who is a backup quarterback who can start in any team in football except Jeff Fisher's Rams, but we're not going to talk about that. Plus, he won the Pro Bowl. He went to the Pro Bowl versus Case Keenum.
I remember seeing Nick Foles barely complete like 5 passes against the Giants this year. Nick Foles is not good. This is just a fact. Nick Foles is not a quarterback. Nick Foles is going to get hot. Maybe he'll get hot against the Patriots defense. I sincerely doubt that. I'm not putting my trust in Nick Foles.
All right.
All right. Eagles defense, but I know that they're going to get held, and they're not going to get any pressure on Brady.
What juice are you on? I mean, the game that you did not see was the game that was the Nick Foles that everybody in Philadelphia has seen before. If you have paid attention and seen this game, you should go on YouTube and watch the highlights of that game. That man was on a rhythm. So think about this. Yes, we agreed that that Giants game was a slop fest, but that defense bailed it out. But it was a slop fest. You knew coming into the playoffs with that first round bye, Nick Foles had enough time to get reacclimated to the first team offense. And the timing plays and everything goes with RPOs, you name it. So by the time you played against, at the time, Atlanta, the rhythm would be there, and it was. You can't sit here and tell me otherwise that Nick Foles stinks. We've seen this before. But remember, with Jeff Fisher, it was a whole different scheme, whole different system, and it's Jeff Fisher. I mean, geez Louise. It's like watching the Cleveland Browns, only slightly better. So come on now, Nick Foles stinking. Get out of here.
All right, y'all. All right.
I'm gonna say it. Nick Foles, he has an ability to go crazy every now and then. I don't really get it, but Nick Foles is not a good quarterback. He's not consistent, and when the Patriots are putting pressure on you, you have to be consistent. He's not going to get it done. The Eagles are going to need some defensive turnovers.
All right.
Strip. Do something. I don't see them doing it.
All right, y'all. Back to y'all corners. Save it for the last question. Back to y'all corners. We ain't even at the Eagles yet. Oh man, this is why I love both of them. Very, very strong in their points. Yeah, but to me, to wrap up what I was saying, it was back on point for a little bit. Bill Belichick, in my opinion, and just from body language and observing from yesterday, I believe is going to leave at the end of this year. I'm not even concerned about Matt Patricia and them. I just feel like both of them, this is a Kyrie Irving situation. They're getting out while the getting's good. Sort of like how Kyrie evacuated the Cavaliers before that ship sank. I think that Matt Patricia, but you have to remember, for they've only lost 2 coordinators in their lives. Romeo Crennel was the defensive coordinator. Charlie Weiss, was the offensive coordinator. Charlie Weiss went on to a not so successful career in Notre Dame. Romeo Crennel is still a defensive coordinator somewhere, I believe, in Cleveland. That's where it is. But they're losing Matt Patricia, who's been there since Crennel left and was under Crennel. And they're losing Josh McDaniels, who was the Charlie Weiss disciple. So they're, again, losing the defense and the offensive coordinator, who I think are both getting out while the getting's good. And now we have this whole thing and confirmation of it just by the way Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft were interacting yesterday. Now, I believe Bill Belichick will leave. That's what I prefaced my statement with. Bill Belichick will leave at the end of the year or retire, whichever one comes first. And then it will just be Robert Kraft, Tom Brady, and a new coach, whoever that new coach is. New system, new everything, machine's dead. And if the Eagles can do the impossible, I believe they can do it. If the Eagles can do the impossible and beat the league and beat Tom Brady, then this will be the greatest Super Bowl, the greatest championship in Philadelphia history. There will be no more need for titles, even though I want the Sixers to do the same thing. But there will be no need for titles if the Eagles win come next week. I believe they will, but like Rito said, you got to beat the league.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. You got to beat the league and you got to beat the machine.
Next week is Pro Bowl, then it's Super Bowl the following week.
I believe that.
Who watches the Pro Bowl?
No.
I'm just saying.
Kylan, I got to go now, so I'm going to leave you with my parting thoughts. Jags game was a disgrace. I don't see Belichick retiring. Patriots coordinators have never mattered, and they never will, as long as Belichick's there. I want Belichick to retire. It's not happening because evil has triumphed yet again. I'm putting all my money on Trump 2020 because Trump's team won. Trump's team's going to win again, and they're probably going to continue winning. So Trump 2020, I suppose. Just prepare yourself. The Eagles aren't going to win. Sorry, guys. Love you all. I got to go. That's my piece.
All right, man. Yeah, like I believe. Listen, I agree, but I believe that Bill Belichick will leave. If he doesn't leave, then the dynasty ain't over. But I think Bill Belichick is going to leave. Matt, you go ahead. We've been on this too long. You say your piece, and then we'll move on to Amina because Amina's been waiting while y'all had.
Amina's actually enjoying herself.
What was that? There, just
listen. So Matt's guaranteed to have an argument with somebody every time we go live. So it's just a prerequisite for the show.
It was not the argument. The things he was saying.
Reno has some frustration. He needs to get it out. That's why I love both of them. They both have
He
that
says he's a Redskin. What?
They're both strong-willed. But go ahead, Amina. What's your take?
He says he's a Redskins fan. Okay, I'm about to snap out of it. Okay. Concerning New England, whatever that is, whatever else the rest of their team name is. I don't like to even say their name.
The New England Cheetahs.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I'm also under the impression
New England Zebras, the New England Cheetahs, the New England where's put my money check in the mail, that.
I was also because Kyler had said in the podcast that we had in recent times that Tom Brady's contract is up after this season currently. So if that's true, and I believe Kyler, hey, well, I don't know if he's gonna be a free agent, where he's gonna go next, what he's gonna do, he's gonna resign. I don't know. You never know. You never know concerning Tom Brady what he's gonna do next. Concerning their head coach, I think that he may or may not leave. I mean, I don't know. I gotta just keep watching the updates with that. But yeah, I feel as though they're done. I mean, Tom Brady has been on the England, whatever that is over there, for 18 years now, since 2000. And it, it's time to be done with Tom Brady. Like, once he goes, there will be true competition in the NFL. True and real competition. We're going to be, once he leaves, we're going to be seeing teams play in the playoffs, winning, and teams going to the Super Bowl and winning that we would have never even imagined. I feel it. I feel as though that the real uh, success of the other 31 teams is being stunted because of this team in New England. There ain't no room for growth and development with this team that's in existence with these other with this team. So yeah, based on what's been going on this season with the New England, whatever that is over there, with Tom Brady's doctor, the tension in the locker room, coaching staff not getting along well, I think there may be a shakeup after the fourth. I think this offseason between after the Super Bowl's over up until preseason in August, we might be seeing some shakeups from the Patriots. So we'll see what happens this spring and summer with them. But I don't see them lasting that much longer. And Brady be 41 this year, so it's time that he stops being a Super Bowl hog and let somebody else's light shine and stop hogging stuff.
Listen, man, all I got to. Oh, were you done?
Hmm. I am done with him in more ways than a few.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to say, for the record, that I know people say, and Reno even pointed this out. I know people say the NBA is rigged, but y'all know we've known, and I made this comment to Amina and Matt. Somebody may have mentioned it on this podcast before, but I love holier than thou football fans that say casual basketball watchers that be all like the NBA's rigged, but then will turn a blind eye or finally getting their feelings about the Patriots always being in the Super Bowl. Like the Patriots, like we don't know one half of the Super Bowl every year. Like the only other time we didn't have them in the Super Bowl was 2 times in this decade. The one time when the Ravens went there and the one time the Broncos went there. Every other time, it's just been the Patriots. Let's stop acting like we don't know one half of the Super Bowl every year.
And people can't compare the NFL to the NBA because it just can't happen. Current dynasty in the NBA has only been in existence for 3 years. So I don't know what people's issue is.
Right. People always want to get on the NBA about being rigged, but they never want to get on the NFL.
Before 3 years ago, the Spurs and the Miami Heat were running things in the NBA up until 2014. Let's talk about that.
Right, we're not supposed to be talking about that. This John was good. It's still good, but this is what happens when you have various personalities in one. But moving on to our next question, because surprisingly we're still on topic. Is Tom Brady the GOAT? Let me just say this: he's the greatest of all time. He's the best quarterback I've ever seen in my lifetime so far, and yeah, he's our Joe Montana. I hope he doesn't get as many rings as Michael Jordan, because this is what's going to happen. It's already happening now in Boston somewhere, right? Or in the Massachusetts area. Some idiot who don't know sports is probably somewhere right now, or if they win or lose the Super Bowl, whatever happens, there's somebody who's probably saying, yo, Tom Brady is the greatest athlete in Boston sports history. And I know somewhere Matt just spit out his drink because I said the same thing when I heard somebody say this who I knew who was from the New England area. I was all like, have you not heard? Have you not seen? Bill Russell, 12 rings? More rings than Tom Brady will ever get in his life? Have you not heard and have you not seen? There's nobody in Boston greater than that man. Nobody. I'll say it again. Nobody. You can at me. Kylan W. Watson on Twitter. You can at me, Boston fans, if you want to have an argument. But last time I checked, 12 is greater than 5. Math didn't change, right? I mean, there, Matt. Yeah, 12 is greater than 5, right? 12 is greater than 5. More impact, Bill Russell to me. But anyway, yeah, Tom Brady's the GOAT. That's all I can really say. Greatest quarterback in my lifetime that I've ever seen. So, yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
All right, I'm gonna tell you something right now. Okay, first of all, I took every ounce of me not to put my guitar down. Okay, every ounce of me not to slam Black Beauty. So here you go. Greatest of all time. I'm all right. I can't do it. I can't. He's in the as far as quarterback is concerned. He's up there along with Peyton. He's up there with Montana. He's up there with Unitas. He might be up there with Bradshaw. He has four Super Bowl titles. However, he's the best of his era. That's all I'm gonna give him. He is a as much as we hate this man, as much as I can't stand him, he is a bona fide first ballot Hall of Famer. And you have to remember, if Drew Bledsoe did not get hurt, we wouldn't be talking about this. A 7th round pick out of Michigan, who was a 4th string quarterback in Michigan, where, hold up, remember Drew Henson, right? Former Cowboy Drew Henson, who was a third baseman for the Yankees. He was drafted ahead. I don't know draft that, probably, but look where he's at now versus where Tom Brady is right now. You can say it's a system. You can say it's Bill Belichick. You can say whatever you like. But you know what? You have to give credit where credit is due. He is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He is in that list. To say he's number one, I'm not going that far out on the limb. I'm sorry. But I'm not sorry. I've been in Boston area. I've been in that area. They worship Tom Brady like he's God up there sometimes, and it's nauseating. He's literally up there with Larry Bird. I swear to you not, Larry freaking Bird. I mean, look, I thought we would look. Boston can have Bobby Orr. Boston can have the Boston Bruins. They can have Bird and McHale and Casey and Sam Jones and the likes of the Celtics with Bill Russell now and Red Auerbach. They can have it. They can have Yastrzemski. They can have Ted Williams, who greatest hitter who ever lived. Oh, by the way, and Babe Ruth, a young Babe Ruth before they traded him to the Yankees, and look how that worked out for that franchise until I don't know 2020 or something. I can go on, but I can say this to you: he is one of the top 5 greatest quarterbacks of all time, and that's as far as I'm going to go.
Amina?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Matt that he's not. Well, Matt didn't say it verbally, but I'm gonna say how I feel about it. I don't believe that he's the GOAT when it comes to the NFL. I believe that there are other quarterbacks, both past and present, that outshine him. True success isn't all the time with rings and trophies. True success is genuine, heartfelt talent. And I don't believe that Tom Brady has genuine, heartfelt talent. I believe that he's that player that's given wins because of who he is, and the NFL caters to him like a spoiled rich child. There are other quarterbacks that I feel as though are more deserving of a title such as that. Um, Eli Manning, um, Aaron Rodgers. I feel as though those people are talented more so than Tom Brady. How they don't pipe themselves up, they don't make themselves seem to be bigger than they are. But now, Tom Brady, like Matt said, he's on the top five. And when I say top five, I don't mean the top two of the top five. He's in the 3 to 5 category in my world. But I would never call him the GOAT of anything. The GOAT, in my opinion, when it comes to individual sports organizations, is someone that's humble and very genuinely talented that doesn't have to pay refs to get 5 rings. That doesn't have to pay the NFL astronomical amounts of money every season to make sure that he makes it to a Super Bowl. So no. Tom Brady, nope. Not yesterday, not today, not tomorrow, not ever, ever, never. And that's how I feel about that.
All right, guys. What happened to the Vikings defense? Can I answer? I'll answer, right? I know what happened to the Vikings defense. Nick freaking Foles happened to the Vikings defense. Here's the answer. But the dynamic duo of Nick freaking Foles and Doug Big Balls Peterson. Let me tell you something. Big Balls showed up yesterday. Can I tell you why Big Balls showed up yesterday? Some people won't get why I call Doug Peterson Big Balls. But Matt will tell you after I'm done. But Doug Big Balls Peterson made a gutsy play. I wouldn't have done it. It's something that somebody only pulls off in Madden twice, and Matt can preach on this. It's a play that you only pull once in your life. It's a play that we talked about in the movie back in the 90s, The Little Giants. Everybody knows the play I'm talking about. FF, the flea flicker. I could not believe it. I was all like, no way. When Corey Clement turned around, tossed that ball perfectly, and Nick Foles made a throw that only Nick Foles and Carson Wentz and maybe Aaron Rodgers can make. He threw a ball, a well-thrown back shoulder deep ball, to an obviously well-covered Torrey Smith. Torrey Smith, the guy who I've called Torrey Drops, right? Torrey Drops became Torrey Smith yesterday with that ball. He caught that ball, and I'll tell you right now what was going on in my head as he was going to the ground. I was all like, we better not have a Dez Bryant. You better catch this ball. You better not pull an Adam Thielen. You better catch this ball, Torrey Smith. You better prove yourself worthy of the money right there. And boy, did he prove himself worth the money. But Big Ball showed up yesterday. You notice the game was so out of reach. Doug Peterson, man, I saw this on Twitter. I can't take credit for this. Doug Peterson is everything that Chip Kelly was supposed to be. Chip Kelly was supposed to be that quarterback that adjusted to Nick Foles, that adjusted his system, that was always thinking. He was supposed to be Philadelphia's version, a combo of Bill Belichick and Andy Reid. He was supposed to be always adjusting an offensive and defensive genius, right? Doug Peterson is everything Chip Kelly wanted to be and everything Chip Kelly never could be. Doug Peterson is a thinking man's coach. First off, he's a believer. He's a Christian. Praise the Lord for that. But Doug Peterson is everything. When I tell you everything, this is why I wish Reno watched more Eagles games. Because if he did, he would see that Doug Peterson, this is going to be a great game. It's going to be a rematch of 2005. This man is everything Andy Reid should have been in 05, in the 04-05 season. This man is somebody who I actually believe can match with Bill Belichick. About everybody. You really can only say that about Pete Carroll. But Pete Carroll outsmarted himself. But you can really only say that about a couple of coaches in this league. But this is a man, Doug Peterson, that I believe can match well. And just to help you Eagles haters out, the Philadelphia Eagles have statistically been the best team smoking since the beginning of the season. Right? This was said on ESPN that the Philadelphia Eagles have the best statistical defense in the playoffs of the last 4 people left. They had the second best third down defense, now the best third down defense because they beat the best defense. They're going to stop, as Matt said, New England's rushing attack, which is non-existent. And I really do believe that all we're going to do is put Malcolm Jenkins on Rob Gronkowski and Adam Midget Amendola, and we'll be all right. I believe, just like I said in last week's podcast, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. All right? Doug Peterson, Nick Foles. Doug Peterson has messed around and brought back, resurrected 2013 Nick Foles. That was 2013 Nick Foles, ladies and gentlemen. That was not 2017 Nick Foles. That was not 2 weeks ago Nick Foles. That was 2013.
That's what I said.
That was 2013 Nick freaking Foles. That was Nick freaking Foles. Who there's only been 2 quarterbacks that have a 75% passer rating in the playoffs. Joe Montana and Nick freaking Foles. Nick freaking Foles. Nick freaking Foles. Nick freaking Foles. I'm going to keep saying it. Nick freaking Foles. Nick freaking Foles. It's coming. This defense is coming. Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Chris Long. Oh, I forgot to mention the Patriots that are going to tell us everything is going to run. We got Chris Long and freaking LeGarrette Blount on our team. 2 people that were instrumental in helping the Patriots get the Super Bowl last year. We got them on our team, y'all. They're going to tell us everything. Because it's not like they running anything different this year. Malcolm Butler isn't as strong defensively as he was this year. Don't let what Gilbert did yesterday fool you, or Gilmore. He ain't that good either. Alshon Jeffrey is going to torture. Torrey Smith is going to torture. If this Nick Foles comes in 2 weeks, we going to win. We going to win. It's going to be raining touchdowns in Minnesota coming from Nick Foles. And yes, I know that every Super Bowl the Patriots have been in, it's been decided by 3 points. I remember the Eagles was the first Super Bowl they played. I remember. Well, the second. I remember how close that game was. And now got a confident coach, a confident quarterback, and we're gonna be all right. Go ahead, Matt. I see you itching again, and I ain't gonna stop you no more. Go ahead, Matt. First off, explain to him why I call him big balls. Go ahead, explain to the people.
The Philadelphia Eagles are first and third down offensively. The Philadelphia Eagles is one of the best teams on defense on third down. This team has I think number 1 or 2 as far as run defense is concerned. You may say to yourself, well, their pass defense isn't that good. Well, when you blow teams out, well, your defensive numbers could be a little bit inflated as far as that is concerned. So but it don't matter. I said it once, I'll say it again. This team is one of the most complete, well-balanced teams I've ever seen. They will give the Patriots a run for their money. And I'll say it again. This is a very good team. Now, some of you may say to you, well, you know what, no Carson Wentz problem. The Eagles have showed you there is no problem at all. If you watch the game, particularly on third down, third in whatever situation, there's a play for everything, including play action and the like. I mean, at one point they were like 8 for 10 at one point on third down. So what's the problem? Nick Foles is Nick Foles. I'm not saying Nick Foles is Foles yet, but he's doing a job that he's called to do as a backup quarterback that is a starter anywhere in this league. So what's the problem? I'm gonna keep it short today because as a fan, it's only 2 weeks away. So we just gotta keep our heads balanced, and just remember that this team can go toe to toe with anyone, and we've seen it time and time again, particularly with the Rams, the Vikings, even with their number one ranked defense. So this is gonna be a doozy.
Go ahead, Amina.
Yeah, if Reno was here, I would tell him to educate himself and start watching games before he gives his synopsis. The Redskins fan over there, but
I'll sorry to cut you off, but by the way, I love Reno. I mean, good brother and everything else. But I'm gonna tell you right now, he must. I hope he's listening to this podcast. I hope you do watch that Super Bowl. It is. If you hate everything holy and dear against the Patriots, you hate that team, you should watch this Super Bowl and hope and pray that the Philadelphia Eagles do America a service, a great luxury service of dismantling the Patriots. Just saying. Go on, dear.
oh, ain't that sweet? But anyway, yeah, what I gotta say first with the Vikings, they didn't show up. They got slugged, and no one mentioned the fact that they violated Rocky. Car, every Philly native knows that's one of the cardinal sins in our city to violate Rocky. And we found out about it. The Eagles found out about it. They took care of business. They won't do that shit no more. Sorry for the language to the children out there. But yeah, don't come to our city putting your team's towels and jerseys on our stuff. Don't do that. Don't. It's not good. But that was a lesson learned hard for them because they just lost 38-7. Okay, Vikings. Outside of that, yeah, they had no defense, nothing. It was like they didn't even prepare for this game. They didn't even try to even make it seem as though they wanted to win. It was ridiculous. Eagles, they just went all out. They did what they came for. They got the job done, and they're gonna do it again on the fourth. This is not a lightweight Super Bowl that we typically have every year, where it's just two random teams playing and one wins and everybody goes home. This I feel is one of the most anticipated sports games in the modern era. This is a Super Bowl that's gonna put a whole lot of folks on notice when the Eagles win their first trophy. And I agree with Matt. I'm saying it here. Philadelphia Eagles will win the Super Bowl this year. I feel it in my bones. Third time's a charm. They lost their first two Super Bowls, 1981, 2005. They will win 2018. The Vikings. I don't know what's up with y'all team, but y'all just hey, y'all gave up the last round for the divisional round. I guess this wasn't important to y'all, but Eagles, their defense is there. I pray that 2013 Nick Foles is gonna be going to Minnesota and doing his thing and hopefully shutting out Tom Brady's career and making him wish he never played football in his life. But that's how I feel.
All right. And with that, doesn't matter. Yes or no. Doesn't matter who the QB is for the Eagles. After yesterday,
Hell no.
It doesn't matter at
yes.
all.
Nope, it sure doesn't. I was just about that. I'll just close it by saying this. After yesterday, I'm convinced yesterday, like before the playoffs started, when I just had the 2 game sample size of Nick Foles, I was all like, maybe it was all Carson Wentz. Maybe it had nothing to do with Doug Peterson and everything because of what I was seeing of how not confident Nick Foles is now after that performance and the performance before that against the Falcons. Peterson and he found Nick Foles. I believe that he coached up Carson Wentz to perform and get that potential out of him. I believe that this man is a leader of men. I be hearing him speak, and I be ready to run through a wall for him. So I can just imagine in the locker room. So I believe it. I believe it's him. To the next question. Did Doug Peterson validate himself by throttling the Vikings? And I guess a better way to ask this question is from the question I asked last week in the previous podcast. I mean, it wasn't on this one, the one before this one, when it was just Matt, Trey, and then MLK Day one. We'll just say it like this. Did Doug Peterson validate himself? And also, did he make himself the coach of the year just with that performance by Nick Foles yesterday? Yes. Like last week I said it, I say it again. Doug Peterson is the coach of the year. I know Sean McVay is 31. I know Sean McVay is doing what Jeff Fisher couldn't. Let me just say this right now. Doug Peterson, with that performance against the number one defense in the league, coaching up Nick Foles to find his 2013 self, as Matt said. That man is the coach of the year. That man is the coach of the year. There's nothing else left to say. His game plan, his adjustments from last week allowed Nick Foles to look like his 2013 self. What else is there to say? I have no words for what Doug Peterson has done this year. No words. He's having the best sophomore year, I believe, ever. Some people in this podcast disagree. I believe that if he wins the Super Bowl and does something that Pete Carroll, Andy Reid, his mentor, who else got beat by the Patriots? Whoever the coach of the St. Louis Rams was at that time, it might have been Jeff Fisher, but I believe it was Mike Martz. Matt will correct me if I'm wrong because he's a sports historian here. I believe it was Mike Martz, Pete Carroll, something that Peyton Manning only did a couple of times and never would have counted. Who else? Something that a lot of people wish they could have done. If this man in 2 weeks knocks off Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and Robert Kraft and beats the machine in the league, this team is so filling. If they do that, like I said, this is the championship, the end-all championships. It'll be current championships and future championships. This will be the championship right here. If this happens in 2 weeks, matter of fact, this will happen. I'm speaking it into existence. This will happen. This is going to be the greatest title in Philly sports history. Doug Peterson validated himself in my book. Go ahead, Amina. We'll get to Matt. Sorry, man. I'm going to make you wait.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and he does deserve Coach of the Year. And after they win on the 4th, I most definitely extra agree that he deserves Coach of the Year. He's validated himself. He's got the Eagles back to a place where they haven't been since 13 years ago, 14 years ago. What else? Yeah, he's pretty much did everything he accomplished. I mean, he started this season at training camp. I was watching it on TV where he was goal orientated, where he had his mind clear and he set out to be better than he was in his inaugural year with the team. and he just went out and did his thing. And this team is awesome. In my opinion, they've gotten better since, not to be a Debbie Downer, but they gotten better since Carson Wentz went down. In my opinion, everything happens for a reason, and I believe that Carson Wentz injury was a blessing in disguise for this team. Because who knows where they would have been if he had been well. I don't know if they would have possibly or not made it this far. But Nick Foles, he took over the team, got the business done. So yeah, it's an organization where they prep. They have a lot of practices and everything. So I feel that Doug Peterson has cemented himself in Philadelphia sports history. And when New England comes crashing down on a Ford, it's going to be crazy. I hope Philadelphia, I hope the police department is prepared for what'll be going on that Sunday, because this city's going to be crazier than it was last night. But, yep, Doug Peterson has submitted himself, and it's nothing else he has to do to validate that. Right now, they have a 15-3 record. They basically won every game they played this season, minus 3. Should be 2, but we ain't gonna talk about their last game, New Year's Eve. But yeah, Doug Peterson, you did it this season. And for this only to be your second year, you did something that a lot of coaches that are on teams for 4, 6, and 8 years you can't do. And I feel as though also that because the team, all of them believe in the higher power, they all pray together. So, like I said in the previous podcast, we had faith without works is dead. So, get out there and go get Philly's first trophy on the fourth.
Matt?
I kind of made myself clear previously, but like I said, Doug Peterson has really showed that he's more than a capable coach to do the job. So, just to brush up on what I said earlier, um, last Monday, what is the fact that yes, this man's coach of the year. He should be coach of the year. I mean, you got McVay out in Los Angeles Rams. He's much of a strong consideration. However, again, it's the fact that that Doug Peterson took a 7-9 team, a Kelly Rand team, and turned into a powerhouse. And the Wiz team has been over the course of this year has been phenomenal, and the coaching staff should have high praise for what they've done as well. So kudos goes to Doug Peterson. This man should be coach of the year. Bottom line.
All right, y'all. Moving on to our last question of the night. What's your initial thoughts on the Super Bowl 39 or 49? Matt will correct me. I think it's 39. 39 rematch.
39.
Between the Eagles and the Patriots. The Patriots. I mean the Patriots. So between or as Matt likes to call them, the New England Cheetahs versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles. Go ahead, Matt. What's your thoughts?
What's my thoughts on this coming Super Bowl? let me tell you, I expect nothing but the drag out 15-round knockout extravaganza. This is why I expect this is a heavyweight fight as far as I'm concerned. This is this is what I believe is the best of the best. Oh, and you know what? Side note, I gotta say this too. Of all the last, I think it was the last 5 seasons, I believe, both number ones have met in the playoffs, with the exception of the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, I'm taking shots. I'm dishing shots. Okay, the Dallas Cowboys was the number one seed, I think, the year before last, and did not even get past the divisional round. Putting it out there. But anyway, I expect a dogfight. I expect, this toe to toe, go down the wire, defense on defense, Brady versus Foles. This is must see TV. If you are mad and angry about what you saw versus Jacksonville, you should watch the Super Bowl. Yes, you have 2 weeks to heal. You have 2 weeks to lick your wounds. For all you Vikings fans, same thing. Yes, you thought you had a home game. One more home game. No, ma'am. No, sir, you did not. Instead, you're cleaning up your lockers. Thank you. But still. But anyway, bottom line is, I expect a heavyweight fight in 2 weeks.
Amina?
I gotta agree with Matt. Um, as I said in the previous question, I believe that this once again is the Super Bowl of the most anticipated Super Bowl of the modern era. Um, this is, like I said, it's going to put everyone on notice. This is not your traditional Super Bowl. This is a rematch Super Bowl, and hopefully, God willing, the Eagles show up and show out in Minnesota. They come back home to Philadelphia with 215's first trophy. And this is going to be a very, very historic Super Bowl if it goes the way that we want it to go, which it is going to go, because we're speaking positivity into the atmosphere. We're speaking things into existence, and we want them to win, and they're going to win. They have no other options, no other choices. It's win, win, or win. That's that. Um, Tom Brady, he doesn't know what he has coming for him with this team. This team has been called um, the underdogs all season, especially during playoffs. And every time they get called that word, they wind up winning. They're being called the underdogs right now. So, you know, based on the saying, history repeats itself and all that. Yeah, I strongly believe that this is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles' first Super Bowl win year. Everyone, years from now, 50, 100 years from now, when they read the history books, they're going to read about the Eagles' 2017-2018 season. They're going to be talking about it, looking at the pictures, and they're going to say, this is the team that made it, and this is the team that arrived. Eagles, they got this win. They just got to bring the trophy home. And congratulations to my hometown.
That on behalf of my city, I believe that Matt probably already said it, and Amina probably already said it too, are all the way turned up right now. Like, ground zero. And it's going to be a great game. That's my initial thoughts. Obviously, right now, Eagles are going to win, and I'm not scared. I think that they'll answer the challenge. This is the Ream team going to do something that Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens, Dawkins can do. I mean, we're going to win. I mean, we're going to end the Patriots dynasty. I'm going to say it right now. We're going to end it. February 4th, 2018. There's something about years that end in 8 in Philly teams. 10 years after the Philadelphia Phillies did it, we're going to do it. We're going to take care of a dynasty, win our first championship, and do what the Houston Astros did, business against a team. That's what we're going to do. That's my thoughts. I'm excited for the Super Bowl. And does his homework. I hope Carson Wentz and them are watching the 2004, even though nobody on this team currently was in that Super Bowl. But I just really hope that they take care of business come next week, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to take care of business. We're all going to take care of business. We're going to take care of business every day. We're going to take care of business next Sunday. And I'm excited. That's all I can really say about that. That was our wrap up of the Crossover Podcast episode. Crossover Sports Championship Weekend Reactions. That was our reactions. Our reaction. You caught some arguments between the different fandoms going on here. I excuse him for being a Washington sports football team fan. He went to college in DC, so he's kind of predisposed to the DC teams and that heartbreak that goes with that. Excuse him. Excuse him. Jacksonville fan. But yeah, so that's where we are right now with that. But podcast on Saturday, I'm about to say next week. 1 o'clock. That's our new time schedule. Like I said, thanks, Amina. Thank you, Rena, for coming and sharing your raw emotions with us Monday night. Let us know if you like this. Comment in the comment section. Let us know. Monday night, and have a great rest of your week. We'll see you Saturday. Be safe out there.
Enjoy your week.